Hey everybody, I was asked by one of my subscribers. He said he would like the vlogs. If you know who you are, comment down below. And he asked to talk about some of my jobs. So I guess that's what we're going to do. I'm going to talk about the jobs that I've had. I think I put them in here. Okay, my first job was Lowe's. Now these may or may not be in or out of order, so sorry, I'm just going to have to say it. Um, Worked at Lowe's. That was like my first job, other than, of course, side jobs working for people like lawn, landscape, cutting grass, leaf raking, which I still do some of that now too. So, yeah, construction, home remodel, repairing, that kind of stuff. Anyway, Lowe's is first job, and why I don't work at most of these businesses anymore is because of three criteria: corporate, aka management, customers, or I would use the other C word for bad girls, but I'm not going to actually say that. But that's the third reason is girls. Girls lie and get you in trouble. So I was working at Lowe's and I was a cart pusher slash loader slash custodian where I cleaned the bathrooms and stuff. I got plant. I got a pretty good amount of hours there, usually over 40. Um, that was a long time ago because I think I was 18 at the time, and I'm like almost 37 now. I will be on April 25th. So long time ago. Worked there maybe 4 months, 3 4 months. Um, and it worked out great until I was bringing in a person's something they shouldn't have been returning anyway, but brought it back in and I was talking to the girl daughter. Um, anyway, next thing you know, they fired me. All because the girl was underage and all I did was say, "You're pretty." Told her she was pretty. And I didn't know she was underage. And when I found out she was underage, I said, "Yeah, no." So why I get in trouble is to save corporate's butt from getting a lawsuit. Because people sue for everything nowadays. Um, and you can't tell a girl they're pretty at all nowadays. Can't joke with girls at all nowadays. And it's getting worse and worse all the time because of feminism and the Me Too BS movement. Anyway, because you'll see a theme of that nature with my last job that was Slim Chickens too. I got fired for it for the same exact basic reason. I was just going to hang out with a girl and her sister who worked at Slim Chickens. One worked at Slim Chickens, the other one didn't, and just wanted to hang out and watch a movie. And I had this joke that I just kept joking around with all the different workers, both male and female, that if anybody wanted to raise I can give them a raise because everybody's talking about a raise. You know how you give a person a raise? You pick them up. They're raised up. Tuh. Anyway, um, yeah, people don't understand jokes. Another joke that I'm also kind of serious about is that when people get in my way, usually they move because I tell them to move. But I've told plenty of people, both guys and girls, that if they don't move out of my way, I will move them out of my way. So I've done that all my life. So either get out of my way or I'll move you out of my way. The next job was I also learned everything at Lowe's, like how to use the key machine, the all the machines at Lowe's, like everything. I learned how to do all of those. And when I wasn't bringing in carts, which I did fast because I'm the fastest cart pusher around, I was assisting customers in the store. Even got like commissions somehow from assisting customers. Next up was Sam's Club. Sam's Club, I was stuck outside all the time, and it was doing great. They called me in to work extra hours um, on my off days all the time, um, and it was great. I got a crud load of hours, but I was pretty much stuck out in the parking lot, and there was literally no advancement. I was not going to advance, and I didn't see any raises coming in at all either. And I'm trying to push carts, and uh, I'm trying to push carts. And I was just going to push them directly into his front door, and this manager, who's not even supposed to be my manager, she's the customer service returns manager or whatever. She got in my way and was literally using herself to block the carts, and she shouldn't even been there. She's not a greeter. That's not her job. She shouldn't have been there. Uh, and regardless of her being a manager, my manager or not, she shouldn't have been in my way. Okay, she should just let me do my job. She do her job, I do my job, and everything would be fine. She was trying to tell me I needed to push them all the way around when customers are grabbing them as soon as I bring them in the front door. So let me do my job, okay, and get out of my way. She wouldn't do that. Already aggravated because they wait to the last minute to call people. I mean, they literally wait until there's like no cards anywhere before calling someone or before a shift starts. So as soon as your shift starts and you clock in at work, there's already like no cards at all, and you have to go get them all from outside the building. If they would schedule people in proper shifts, you would never have this problem because there would be plenty of cart pushers. But since they didn't hire enough cart pushers, and they would wait till half the day before they even scheduled one cart pusher, they then had plenty of carts outside. So you already been working all day. You've already been working a couple of hours. You're still bringing carts in, and then you got a person blocking you, being an asshole, blocking you from getting carts in. So I called her a choice word, and they got me fired. And they lied to me because they said that you could come back in 3 months or something like that and get your job back. I came back in 3 months, and they said I had to fill out a new application. It's not what they told me, and there's no reason I would have to fill out a new application because you already have my old application. All you had to do, HR, was bring up the old job that I done already had and reinstate me. It's not, you shouldn't have to fill out another application. I worked also for Kroger for about a month, and they wouldn't give me full time, so I said bye bye. Um, I worked at summer wing place at one time. The guy was paying me under the table though, like cash. So what up with that? I have no idea. Me and him didn't get along, so one day I finally just said, "F you," I quit and just left because, man, he needed to either be a manager and stay in the front end, or he needed to come back in the back end and be a cook. He was trying to do both. And then he comes back one day messing. He hired me to be a cook, so he should have left me alone and been the cook and to fill in the orders. But apparently, he thinks that he can come back there when I don't know, they're busy. Instead of hiring two cooks, he decided to only hire one cook and try to be the cook when they get busy. Or instead of just letting people wait a little bit, and we'll get to their order when we get to their order, he decides to get back there and start rushing and being fast, and then claims that I'm messing up on the order, which he was the one who messed up on. And yeah, I don't like being micromanaged. Okay, you hire me to do a job, you let me do the job, and you leave me alone and let me do the job. Okay, I was doing perfectly fine until he comes in there and messes with me. They would have got their food. People will wait. Okay, seriously. Anyway, but he was shady anyway because he was paying me under the table to be a cook for a company. Another place I worked for a long time doing this. I worked home remodeling, construction repair, uh, carpentry, electrician, plumbing, handyman, all around handyman. That's why I call myself a Jeff of all trades. Um, I worked for a guy named Roger doing it. He eventually ran out of work and stopped doing the jobs. We did roofing. We built a whole entire garage at one time, and it usually was just me and him. We did all kinds of stuff. We did like everything. So built a third floor attic thing, one time. So many. We did like all kinds of roofing work and remodeling work and addition work and put a porch down, made fences, all kinds of stuff. Raised raised the floor, raised the floors. So many things that we did until he got old. He started getting older, started having less jobs, etc. So independent subcontractor. Um, then also worked at I worked at Dee Dee's Discounts, which is like Ross. Um, I'm telling you, these are not necessarily going to be in order. They're going to be all over the place. And it was a part-time job. I was also working at Waffle House. Waffle House was fine until corporate wanted me to work in the mornings. I'm not a morning person. Why did you switch me from night shift to morning shift? I'm mid shift and night shift person, not a morning shift person. I kept telling them this, but they kept switching me. Only reason they switched me to morning shift was because they wanted me to be there on the truck. Because after I did the truck one time, they made me on the truck every time because I was good at it. See, anything I get good at, they want me to do all the time. I was working at Dee Dee's, and what I did was basically restock. I was doing restocking, helping them in the morning sometimes, Again, I didn't like doing the morning. Sometimes I'd even go from night shift to morning shift. Problem is, since Waffle House wouldn't give me a set shift all the time, which I asked them to do, so eventually they just got me got me mad where I just said I quit because I couldn't take it no more. Too stressful. Morning sucks. Too many people eat in the morning. Mid shift, it's cool. Not as many people. Night shifts, also cool. Not as many people. Jeez. I don't like people. Too many people. Less workers and oh my gosh. Waffle House is terrible. I mean, the people are crazy. The customers are crazy. The employees are crazy. It's just all around craziness. No. I can cook if I have less craziness. Um, Another place I worked for was CC's Pizza. I was a dishwasher, worked there about a month, and then I found another job, which I believe the other job was Bargain Hunt was the next job. I'm not sure on that, but I only worked there for a little. I didn't even work there that long. I worked there less than a month. Um, anyway, I was stuck in the dishwashing room, and while I was quote the fastest dishwasher the manager's ever seen, they wanted me stuck in the dishwashing room until they could find a new dishwasher. Then they trained me to do other stuff. That's stupid. And the managers were okay. Since this wasn't too long ago, this was like about a year ago. Again, management is younger than me. I'm old enough to be some of these kids' dad, and you have them bossing me around. It should be the other way around. I'm old enough to be their dad. Why are you hiring me to be a dishwasher? Yeah. Just because my last job at Incredible Pizza, I started off as a dishwasher. Yeah, I was a dishwasher. But then you promoted a boy to be head dishwasher over me. I never got along with the front end female manager. So I went to the back end because y'all kept sending me to the back end anyway because I kept getting good because I learned everything how to operate all the rides over there and I did good. But y'all kept blaming me for problems, which was the corporate's fault by not giving me the power and authority I needed to be able to boss these kids around. And I was more efficient. You kept getting on to me for all kinds of stuff that their manager told me was okay to do. And when I claimed that I said that, they said, no, she didn't just tell you that. The store manager, oh my gosh, the store manager of Incredible Pizza is just, he literally was letting this female black lady. Now, at Slim Chickens, I had a female black manager, and she liked me, and I liked her, and I worked, and she liked that I worked. And if I hadn't got fired for the reason I mentioned earlier, I would have probably become a manager after a while. I was team leader and stuff, and I was getting a hell of amount of hours there. Oh my gosh, I was working like basically open to close. No, seriously, open to close. They kept wanting me to take like a 4 hour break or 3 hour or something lunch in the middle, and I kept not taking it. Maybe took a 30-minute one, and then maybe later of the day took another 30-minute lunch because I prefer to actually work. Yeah, I would work. Yeah, if your company needs someone that's willing to open up the store and close the store, I'll do both. Anyway, um, no, so I learned how, and a person who would learn how to do literally everything if you'll let me, and if you give me the power and authority I need of management would help. Another place I worked for was I worked for a gas station that guy was shady too because he accused me of stealing, which I didn't do, and he was paying me under the table. And then when he finally decided to pay me in a check, he said he was going to give me a certain amount of hours for every check. But if I didn't work that many hours, he wanted me to pay him cash to compensate for what the check said. I'm telling you, guy was shady. Another job that I worked at one time, I think this was after the Lowe's and the Sam's Club, was a warehouse job. Did not like the warehouse job. I kept getting sick at the warehouse job because it was wintertime and it was cold. And I was I just one day it was just raining so bad. I just said no, I'm not going in, and that's basically how I quit. Currently, I'm on YouTube. That's one of my jobs. Was church security every Wednesday night when my church was closer to town. So I've done that. Um, got my booth in a moment of time. There's that. I tried to start a moving company. I only got like maybe 2 or 3 jobs one time when I owned my own little moving truck. So there's that. Like I said, I've already done landscaping. I've resold. I've had yard sales and stuff like that. Another job I've done before was bargain hunt. I worked at bargain hunt one time, and I was basically he hired me to be furniture guy, right? To build furniture. But for the first month, he wouldn't stop having me be stocking and restocking stock boy. Basically, I was stock boy for a month before he actually let me start building furniture. But so I was doing both. I'd be stocking and then building furniture. Building furniture is great. I sold furniture. Problem was they kept getting on to me for staying more hours than I'm supposed to stay. How am I going to build everything if I can't stay and build it? If, and apparently, no manager ever wrote down because, like, I'm there and they was always like, "Can you stay?" But they never wrote it down saying it's okay for me to stay. So they never. So I got in trouble for basic. I got in trouble and had to quit, but and one day I just walked out and quit on them. And now, for some, because of stupid corporate policies, if you quit at certain jobs, they won't ever hire you back. Stupid corporate policies. Told you the problem is corporations, women, and management. If I could get management to realize that I should be the boss and quit bossing me around, and I could get corporations to give me as many hours as I want, and I could get girls to stop being bitches and leave me the fuck alone when I'm like being nice to them or when they're in my way as a manager or whatever. Anyway, point is, I was building furniture, but apparently I got in trouble for working too many hours, which I got in trouble at Lowe's. I didn't never get in trouble at Lowe's. Lowe's, see, the problem with Lowe's is I was working too many hours, but they kept calling me in to work. Problem with Sam's Club was I was also working too many hours. They kept calling me in to work. See, when it's their idea, it's okay, but when it's your idea, it's not okay. Wrong. You should just let me decide how many hours I can work. Let me decide, not you. Let me. Okay? And I try to explain to them that they're a company that makes around $500,000 per bargain hunt in average a year for all the various different companies. I actually looked it up on the internet because it's a publicly traded company. You can find out how much your company that you work for makes, and you can explain to them that they can afford it. because they can. These businesses be making in profits. This is profit. Okay? Bargain Hunt was making in profit $500,000 per location, per bargain hunt. And there's three of them, like in my town. Now, technically, one's in Bartlett, one's in like Collierville, Germantown, or whatever. And, well, I think there's four of them because there's like one in Germantown, there's one in Collierville. But there's like three of them in like the 901 area is what I'm getting at. There's like three or four of them in the 901 area, right? All right, there's even one down the street from my house, not too far away, right next to a cool thrift store. The point is, and you may have seen that thrift store in some of my thrift store videos. Anyway, the point is, what I'm trying to say is that they are wrong because they made over $500,000. They made around $500,000 per location in profit. And they're trying to tell me that they can't afford me to work 50, 60 something hours a week, which is bullshit. Yes, they can. These corporations are lying to you. When they tell you they can't afford, when they say they can't afford full time, they're lying because they're making enough money that they can afford full time. When they're telling you they can't afford overtime, they're lying because they can afford overtime. They're making enough money. All they need to do is cut the big shots' salaries, cut their salaries, raise ours. If they really believed in helping people out and stuff, they would cut their salaries and raise ours. I mean, if corporations really cared about helping the economy out, they'd make sure there was a zero unemployment rate. If the the if the politicians really cared about the poor people, they would redistribute the wealth by making the rich people, the ones that own multi-million-dollar corporations, cut their own salaries and hire twice as many employees and hire all employees and only hire full-time employees. It's not that complicated. Okay? If you really care about the economy and the poor people, you would make sure they had jobs. You wouldn't tax the rich to death. You would just say, you have to hire 5,000 people. And they all have to be full time. Or something. Come on. Makes sense. Like, here's a few ideas. First one, corporations. Stop having one guy. If you don't have the hours at one store, make them work at all the stores. There's an idea. First of all, if you want people to work part-time, have them work 2 days a week, open to close. They would get 20 something hours. Second of all, if you can't have them work full-time at one store, have them work at all the different stores. It's not like, see, if there's a city, right? I live in a city where there's multiple of the same store in the same city, right? Which would mean that I could work 2 days here, 2 days at that one, 2 days at that one, right? There's like 3 different locations. So it's 3 different locations. I could work 2, 4, 6 days a week, 2 at each different location. Do that or something. Anyway, we need an Employment Protection Act so that people can't get fired unless they break like the law, and the only law that they'd be breaking is like stealing or hurting someone at work, or they get arrested outside of work and they can't go to work no more. Then they can get fired. That would be the only reasons to be able to get fired, something like that. We need some. I'm gonna have to do a secondary video, probably. Saying I'm gonna do another video. I'll probably do another video saying what some of these corporations need to do because I only get like 30 minutes and whatnot. Anyway, remember, God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Keep on gaming. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Jesus loves you, Jesus God, Jesus Lord, Jesus King, Jesus your ruler, everything. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Keep on gaming, game on, collect on, all that good stuff. And I think I told most of my jobs that I've done. I've listed them all right here if y'all want to read all that. Some of them are like doubles and repeats or whatever. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this my jobs, or my resume video or whatever, because I don't know. I wrote it down. I don't know how to make one on a. I really don't know how to make one on the internet because they ask too many questions. Matter of fact, that's another thing they need to stop. They need to start giving paper applications again. For sure. Because the internet don't work. I mean, the internet system's not working to get jobs. It's not. Most of my jobs I have not gotten from filling out an application online. I've gotten from filling out a piece of paper